UNLV Microcertificate Economics.
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand. Wax on, wax off.
Okay, so I put that in there because when we do this in a more technical way, we're talking about right hand and left hand, curves moving to the right and to the left. In our case, we're going to talk about this in more generic terms. And again, if you want to see the graphical version of this, it's available in your module. You don't have to do that. We understand that most of your students probably are not going to be comfortable with a more mathematical approach to supply and demand, but you don't need to. Third graders understand supply and demand. They may not understand the words, but they understand the idea of what will make prices go up and down to a great extent. Okay? And again, we've done surveys. I'm not making that up. Economists have actually done surveys and tried to show that. Okay? So remember, when we're talking about supply and demand, we want to explain things. Consumers are demand, businesses are supply. So something that affects the consumers will affect the demand for things. Something that affects businesses will affect the supply of things. When one thing changes, it will affect supply or demand, but not both. Okay? And that should be affect, not effect, but ignore that. When one thing changes, it's going to affect supply or demand. There may be four things changing at the same time, and both supply and demand are affected. But each individual thing, taken as itself, is going to affect just supply or just demand. We want to tell a story here. We want to be able to explain why the price of apartments is going up. Well, what's the story? Well, there's two parts to the story, right? Part one is we haven't built enough stuff. During the pandemic, there was a shortage of materials. There was a shortage of labor. It was difficult to work. We haven't built enough new stuff, so there's not enough supply. But consumers are out there. There's more consumers out there, and they want to buy houses or rent apartments. So we have one thing making supply decrease, one thing making demand increase, and both of those things are going to make the price go up. Okay? But it's two separate things, one that affects demand and one that affects supply, and that's the story we need to tell. So let's talk about the market for tacos, and you might guess what I really like to eat from all these things. What happens when the price of beef falls? Well, who buys beef? I don't buy my beef and take it to Taco Bell or to Chipotle. Chipotle buys the beef. Del Taco buys the beef. Okay? So beef prices affect businesses, and that means beef prices affect supply. If the price of beef goes down, that should increase the profit I make on my tacos, right? I'm paying less for the ingredients. If I charge the same amount of money, my profit's going to go up. As my profits go up, I'm going to try to make more tacos. And the only way I can sell those tacos is to lower the price. So that increase in businesses are affected, that decrease in the price of a cost of production, it was going to increase my profits. It's going to increase supply. Quantity will rise as I increase supply, but to sell that, I'm going to have to lower the price. So an increase in supply will cause prices to fall and the quantity to rise. Okay? And we need to think this through, and I've got more examples here. We need to think all of these things through. Now, what happens if burrito prices rise? Well, Taco Bell doesn't buy burritos, it sells burritos. Who buys burritos? Consumers. So beef burrito prices rising is going to affect demand. Now, we're talking again here about tacos, not about burritos. We're talking about tacos. What's the relationship between a taco and a burrito? And the answer is probably that they're substitutes. That if I walk into Taco Bell, I might buy tacos or I might buy a burrito. Okay? If I walk into Chipotle, I might buy tacos or I might buy a burrito. They're substitutes. So the price of a substitute has risen. I walk into Taco Bell, I'm not sure what I want to buy, but I see that the burrito prices have gone up. That tends to make me want to substitute away from the high-priced item to the low-priced item. I'm going to be less likely to buy the burrito and more likely to buy the taco. So the demand for tacos will increase. The quantity of tacos that are sold will increase. And Taco Bell's probably going to raise the price on the tacos. Not as much, maybe, as the price of burritos went up, so there's still a reason for you to buy the taco instead of the burrito. But we would expect both the price and quantity of tacos to rise. So, now we have new taco machines. We take a cow and some tomatoes and some spices, we throw it in one end, and some corn, and tacos come out the other end. Who cares about that machine? Well, the business does. It's new technology. It's going to lower the cost of production for the business. It's going to affect supply. Okay? So we have an improvement in technology. Supply will increase. And again, the business can lower their prices, right? And still make a lot of money because they have this new technology. They're going to sell more because their profits went up. It's a signal. I need to sell more. I need to produce more. Prices will fall. Again, who does this affect, and what signal is it sending me? It's sending me a profit signal. My profits went up. I should make more. Or if McDonald's realizes that all the taco places are making a ton of money selling tacos, maybe McDonald's starts the McTaco. Okay? Either way, we're going to see more tacos. The more profitable it is to make tacos, the more tacos are going to get produced. What about drink prices? So, again, Taco Bell doesn't buy the drinks. Consumers do. What's the relationship between a drink and a taco? Well, they're complements. When I go to Taco Bell, I buy my taco and I buy my drink. Okay? Actually, I usually buy a burrito, but I buy my taco and I buy a drink. So, consumers are affected. That means this is going to affect demand. This means the price of a complement rises. The drink price went up. Because I know the price of drinks went up, right? Maybe I'm not going to go to Taco Bell as much because drinks are more expensive. And because drinks are more expensive, I'm going to demand fewer tacos. Okay? So the price of the complement rose. Demand for tacos is going to decrease, which means Taco Bell is going to lower the price to try to encourage you to buy more tacos, and the quantity of tacos you buy will go down. The interrelationship of the two complements. All right, suppose now we figure out that tacos cure cancer. So who cares about this? Well, the consumers do. And everybody's going to be going to Taco Bell to buy their cancer cures. So consumers are affected by this. It's going to increase demand. Right? We have a preference, a change in preferences, that people who didn't like tacos before all of a sudden are going to go want to eat them. That means the demand for tacos will increase. It means Taco Bell is going to raise the price of tacos, and they're going to sell more tacos. Okay? There's only 4 things that can happen here, right? Either demand's going to go up or down, and supply is going to go up or down. So there's 4 situations. All you have to do is figure out which of those 4 situations this thing fits in, and then you know what the answer is going to be. Okay? Minimum wage goes up. And we might talk about this later because it turns out that, that there's a lot of debate among economists about what really happens when the minimum wage goes up. And there's a ton of studies, and it's not just as simple as supply and demand. But the business pays the workers. The business cares. Okay? So supply and demand says, if I have to raise the wages of my workers, my profits are going to decrease. Right? But again, these stories are more complex. In the real world, the stories are more complex. And I'm not taking a side here, but all the fast food restaurants have had to raise their wages a lot in the past few months, and yet their profits have actually gone up. So take that as an aside, how you will. Businesses affect supply. The profits, when you raise the minimum wage, profits should decrease, which means supply should decrease. If I had to raise the cost of production, I had to raise the wage, I'm going to raise prices because I raised the wages of my workers, right? It's just a natural thing. Workers' wages went up, up go the prices. Okay? That means consumers are going to buy less. The quantity demanded by consumers will go down. So the minimum wage increase should decrease the profits of the businesses, should cause prices to rise, and the quantity sold to fall. Okay? What happens if we cut business taxes? Well, again, if you cut my taxes, makes me more profitable, right? So the business is affected, its supply. My profit should go up. Yes, maybe they give me a tax break for making tacos. If I do that, now my profits are increasing. I want to make more tacos because I'm making more money every taco I sell. Supply is going to increase. The price of tacos are going to go down because I've got to get consumers to buy those extra tacos. The quantity of tacos I sell will rise. Okay? Again, what's the story we can tell from this? That's what we need to always figure out. What's our story? Okay? What happens if tacos are an inferior good and incomes rise? Well, consumers are affected by income, right? That's their thing. If incomes rise and tacos are an inferior good, consumers are going to buy other things. They're going to substitute away from tacos and toward other things. Okay? So the demand for tacos will decrease. The prices and the quantity of tacos sold will fall. Normally, again, you think incomes rise, I'll buy more tacos. But no, I don't think that too many rich people are driving their limos through the drive-thru at Taco Bell, right? If they're eating tacos, they're going to some fancy schmancy tacoteria and getting their tacos. Okay? So, as some incomes rise, pretty sure that Taco Bell tacos at least are an inferior good, which doesn't mean they're not good, even though there probably isn't really a lot of meat in them. There's others. But as incomes rise, Taco Bell tacos are an inferior good. We're going to make fewer trips to Taco Bell when our income's higher. We're going to go to Chipotle. We're going to go to Fausto's. We're going to go to some fancy taco place on the strip, right? Because we have more income, and that means the demand for Taco Bell will go down, their prices and their quantity will fall.